What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, we have a lot of PlayStation 5 details to go over. This was a report. This is a little while ago. This was about a day and a half ago from Bloomberg, and it was an entire thing on the PS5, on possible price, on what's going on in there. A lot more troubles still kind of adding up for Sony, and I always like to start these videos off by saying this because I know people may get a little confused. I love Sony. Sony's my primary console. I've played PlayStation for many generations. I'm getting the PS5. I want the PS5. All I want is the best for Sony and for PlayStation. So I know when I make these videos kind of discussing the hardships of PlayStation, people either get on me because I'm too hard on them, or they don't know that I'm actually a PlayStation fan, and then you have some people say that I'm too much of a fanboy. You can never really win with the internet, but I want to just clarify as much as I can going in. I'm actually on Sony's side here, but I am going to talk about, again, what was said and kind of my analysis of it. Now, there's, again, multiple different things that they talked about. They talked about even the PS4, how the PS4 was going, and by the way, these are all unconfirmed. These are, they say, like, people familiar with the situation are familiar with Sony. So, like, inside sources, they could not be true. That's very possible. So, again, take all these things with a grain of salt, but they even talked about the PS4, about having to rely on PlayStation 4 to get people to PS5, how they definitely expect there to be a price slash on the PS4 and PS4 Pro. Right now, they sell for $300 and $400 respectively. That'll probably drop by around $100 when the PS5 releases, again, getting people into the PlayStation ecosystem. And they would rely more on the PlayStation Plus subscription service as well as PlayStation Now. So again, more of a reliance on subscriptions. We knew by the way, we knew all those things, right? We knew Sony was trying to make a really big push into the subscription. We know that Microsoft and Sony make a lot of money off of those subscription services, sometimes more than the actual console. Now, this Bloomberg site, or this article, talks about how they believe that the price could be anywhere between $500 and $550. That's a lot. That is definitely a lot. That's a much higher amount, and I guess not much. It's only $50 more, but still, $50 is all it needs to fail or to work, in my opinion. I've talked about for the longest time, I think they're going to go $450. I think both Microsoft and Sony are going to go to $450, and they probably won't go any lower. We talked about how much the production costs versus how much they would make. They both would be losing money if they had their consoles come out for $450, but at the same time, if you have it be $500, if you have it be $550, you're really starting to push it. This is what the PS3 did, right? And remember how that did not work for Sony, and they had to take many years really to solve those problems. So I don't like that analysis, or I don't like that projection. However, they talked to somebody else that believes that it's going to be $450, and he believes that they will end up losing money if it is $450, but he thinks the same thing. We also know that Sony does not plan on delaying the console unless Microsoft does. If Microsoft delays the Series X, Sony would delay the PS5. Now, again, we talked about it so much, and I get it. I get people's want for the next gen. Trust me. Honestly, trust me. I know you guys want next gen. I want next gen too. But what we know now is that Sony has said that they expect to produce around 5 to 6 million units of the PS5 before March of 2021, the end of March. So that is the first, basically that's 2 quarters in all. You don't count all of, because it's in November, so you're missing the start of that quarter. But in those 2 quarters, they would probably expect to sell those 5. They will sell every, I believe, unit they produce. So if you're going to produce 5 to 6 million, that's how much you're going to sell. But the PS4 sold 7.5 million in its first 2 quarters. And I believe if we go back far enough, there were even projections and predictions of Sony in general saying that they would expect it to sell upwards of like 10 million units. And this was before, by the way, all of this kind of stuff happened. Well, you can't beat the PS4 launch. You can't sell, more than your heart's content if you literally cannot produce these things. And again, they talked about that as well in the article, that it didn't really affect the production, although I feel like that's just them saying that to say it, to try and look good, when in reality, yes, I think what's happened has definitely affected the production rate and has absolutely hurt it. Now, the article goes more into that this has affected the DualSense. When they released the DualSense, that they felt rushed and hurried to do it. I thought they did a phenomenal job. They just literally dropped it on a random Tuesday at 1 p.m., right? But, it was random. It blew up the internet. internet, and people loved it, which shows you, by the way, that people still apps, like, for all the things that Sony seems to be kind of messing up on in the shadows, right behind the scenes, they seem to be doing a really good, I mean, when they come out, yeah, the Mark Cerny thing wasn't what people expected, but it was good in its own right. And the DualSense controller, I mean, that literally broke Instagram's record, all that kind of likes, right? It broke a lot of different things. People were very excited. They talked about how they don't think, I guess I'll throw that in there. It seems like there's uncertainty now about the PS5 full reveal, that it was going to be in person, it was going to kind of be like a conference, but now they're unsure. We talked about that, right? A lot of people had thrown out dates, February, March, April. They talked about April 30th being a day where Sony could announce a bunch of stuff, but maybe that's even been pushed. There's, again, a lot of, I think, negative news, and I really do, once again, I know people don't necessarily like this, I want to focus on the delay. This system is in trouble. I think the Series X as well is, in a way, in trouble. These systems, I don't think, are going to work coming out in the fall. Now, we're saying that because people are going to jump on that. They're going to sell. They're going to completely sell out. People are going to get every single one. But what you're going to get is competition and a lot of negativity with that. Think about what people will do. Why wouldn't you buy a couple PS5s or Series X's and then sell it in like a third-party market for an extra couple $100s? And that's very, very bad. But you know what? People are doing it now with common day goods. People are. I mean, look around the world. Go on the internet and you'll find it. With these next-gen systems, they're going to sell. They're going to sell as many units as they can produce. But again, not everyone is going to get it. Like, literally receive them. Not everybody, even I bet you that pre-orders it, is going to receive it day one. You know, look at just YouTube in general. Think of all the channels. We're not even big, okay? No, we've gotten bigger, but we're not like big in the grand scheme. There's no guarantee even we will be able to obtain the PS5. And Tyler and I are both going to try and buy one separately. But there's no guarantee that we're going to get it. And there's no guarantee really anybody is going to be, like, any in particular person is going to get it. I just think it's a really, really bad move. And when you even come out and you say, again, it's all unconfirmed, but when you basically have word on the street being, well, if Microsoft does it, we'll do it. If they delay it, we'll do it. That means that you're basically willing to do it and that you're not going to do it because you're stubborn. And I get it. Like, I understand it because you want to make money. You know, if you do delay it and the other one doesn't budge. So say Sony delays it tomorrow, but Microsoft is like, you know what? We are riding this thing out. Yeah, that gives Microsoft like 3-4 extra months to do their thing. That sucks in the short term, but truthfully, guys, I believe in the long term, it's no big deal. I truly don't, because even right now, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to have 5 million units that sell before March, and then really once it gets to like April next year, you're basically going to have that first big push. You're going to have more units being made. People are going to buy it. You'll probably slash its price because you overpriced it. Imagine even $550, yeah, but then everybody that's buying it, that's selling it at an increased price. And remember, this has been talked about for several weeks. People have been theorizing that that's going to happen, that even if it comes out in only select territories, say Japan releases it, people have expected that people will buy it and sell it here in the U.S. for like $1,000 when really it's only $500. So imagine that. And then and then Sony has to, you know, really come back and do some. I don't even know how you handle that kind of situation. There's only one way, and it's by delaying it. And like, there is a lot more here. There's some interesting stuff. Again, like I find this article really interesting. It gives us some insight as to what Sony is doing. It gives us some insight as to this thing that's going on around the world has hurt them. Undeniably, even in the aspects that they're saying it didn't hurt them, it absolutely did. They're just saying it. I don't know why they're saying it. I honestly, in a situation like this, with a company like this, with a fan base that you have with PlayStation, I think it would be better to just tell people the truth and just be open and honest with them. I get it because you have to worry about stocks and stockholders and all this kind of, I get it, right? I understand. But we talked about even with The Last of Us, why delay it indefinitely if your plan all along is just to move it to Ghost of Tsushima and then move Ghost of Tsushima? Like, is it really costing you? Is it really going to hurt you to say that out loud? I think people would be more understanding. I think a lot of people would be understanding if you came out and said, hey, this thing that happened, We are struggling. It's taking more time. It's taking more money to get these individual parts for the PS5. We're not going to be able to sell as many as we want. You all that have been amazing fans to us, you all are not going to be able to get the PS5 day one. Even those that want it, not all of you are going to be able to get it. So we're making and it'll probably be more expensive than we want it to be. So we're going to make the tough decision to delay the system until February. How hard is it to do that? How much money do you realistically lose by doing it? I don't think it's all that bad versus what you have going on now, where, again, the biggest thing to me is when you basically admit that you can delay it and you're waiting for your opponent. That just, again, indicates that you're willing to do it. You just don't want to budge because it may hurt you if you do it and they don't. But ultimately, I think it's just a smart decision. You're going to sell less than the PS4. No matter what, you're selling less than the PS4. You may lose money on the system because you have to sell it for a reduced price. All of these things, Sony they're having some struggles. And again, I love them. I'm always going to support them. I'm getting the PS5. I'm getting it for the game. I don't even care if the system is not as powerful as the Series X. I used to care about those things more, I'd say, years ago. Now, I mean, I do care, but it's not like a make or break thing. I'm buying it for the games. I'm buying it because that's what I've done my whole life, basically, is be a PlayStation gamer. I love Sony. I love PlayStation, and I want them to do the right thing, and I want them to be in a solid spot. And I just think, firstly, they're hurting right now, and secondly, they're being too stubborn and making all of the wrong decisions with a lot of these different things. I think eventually it's going to come back. I just don't want these bad decisions to catch up to them, but eventually all bad decisions, by the way, guys, they do eventually come back and hit you, and I feel like we're getting to that point with Sony. But guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Lots to go over here, lots of info on the PS5. What did you take away from it? What do you think about my message about delaying it? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you guys subscribe, as always, to our YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up, and I do truly appreciate you guys watching these videos. We're going to have more news videos throughout the day here on my second channel, and obviously if anything breaks PlayStation 5 related, any news like this, we have covered it and we will cover it in the future on these channels. Okay, thank you again for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.